I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body.
And that's kind of like the Alex Jones situation right now. The way it's been made out is that he's being treated significantly worse than the guy who actually shot up Sandy Hook. Like,
Right.
like the last time we talked about this with Alex Jones being fined nearly how much was it? 900, not 900 million, but it was an absurd,
close to $1 million. It's a
yeah,
very
it was an insane, no, it was over $1 million. It was like okay.
I mean $1 billion.
Yeah, no. What they're saying now, yeah. So now what the judge just said is that he owes nearly $2 trillion to the family.
Jesus Christ.
Like, how? It's like, so they're trying to claim that he profited off of talking negatively about their family. And the way that they're figuring out the money is they're looking at the amount of views that he got across social media, timesing that by a certain amount of revenue times the kids that died and all this shit, and they come up with over $1 trillion. This is
That's
like
bananas.
They're wanting to award each family like well over $100 million. And it's like
all the rest of it's like lawyer fees. And
it's
shit.
not even that. No, we're well past lawyer fees. But the problem is that now that they've made this absurd claim, it can go to a much higher court. And once it gets to that level,
it'll get kicked.
It'll get kicked because there's such a thing. There's a Brandenburg thing that basically says is like, look, you can't punish someone like this for their opinion. And all he did was voice an opinion, which is First Amendment protection. Now, was he an asshole? Yes. Has he walked back all of his statements and apologized profusely and paid millions of dollars out already? Yes. So they just want to destroy him. And he was never put on trial. They claimed he was in default. So he had a default judgment and was found guilty immediately. So he was never allowed to defend himself in court. He was only allowed to sit there, be belittled, and then punished by the court. Never given a chance to defend himself.
I hate to say it, but I don't. So my opinion, personal, I think he is the worst of human society has to offer. And do I think he should be punished until he no longer has a platform or an ability? Yes, I actually do, because opinion is one thing, but influenced opinion is a different thing. This is where the point of influencers come into play. An influencer, a person who has a voice. Words have power. Things have voices. Influencers are part of that. This guy was literally the froth of humanity's toilet. And so I don't agree that he is being belittled. I think he is being shown for the asshat that he is. And he kind of deserves his own petard to be hoisted, because his lawyer basically gave everything to the defense and said, okay, we found out that your dude is not a good dude and probably should not be allowed to do anything of this nature anymore. And the problem also is that these families have been ridiculed, have been harassed, have been bullied, have been everything under the sun by people who were influenced by this guy's words.
Well, so before we get too far, he doesn't deserve in
my opinion, he doesn't deserve to be in jail, but he does deserve to be ridiculed and laughed at until he basically goes away under the rock that he came from. Sorry to say it, but it's not a political thing. This guy,
no, it is
just absolute.
So here's the problem, Rob. Here's the problem. You say that influencers have the ability to influence people to do bad things or good things, right? Then every single politician who went out there and called for violence in the streets until a court changed their mind should also be held accountable. And they should all
that is true.
Yeah. So, and every newscaster who's ever talked shit about someone or given false reports of something or written opinion pieces that have gotten people riled up to the point that they took stupid fucking action against something. Alex Jones.
I understand freedom of speech is one thing,
but
it's not freedom of consequence.
Yeah,
correct.
But he paid his consequences.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't own consequence for what somebody else does. So that's what I'm trying to get. He
still gets money for running his little show.
Okay.
Him being an influencer can't force those people to act that way. We all know I love Bobby. That's my dude. I got his back. You know that for a fact, and he does. And there are a lot of things we don't agree on. And just because he says that, I go, oh, well, Bobby said so. So therefore I think this way too. So Bobby's an influencer, but he didn't influence me to do something I don't agree with. Those people who are on the internet running their fucking mouths and blah, 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 and blah. And based on what he said, he's not responsible for that. They're fucking grown ass human beings. They get their own choice in that. They're responsible for what they say on the internet, not him.
But there is such a thing as cult of personality, and
it's
become a stronger.
But how far does that go?
Right.
Everybody's a cult of personality.
But no,
you know what I mean?
The court has been trying to decipher this.
And the court does not have the ability to take away his First Amendment.
No, they don't. But
they do not have
to punish.
But you cannot. Okay, so I'll put it to you this way: you take away a man's livelihood, you may as well kill him. They want to kill Alex Jones in any and all effect. They want to take away his ability to be heard. They want to take away his ability to make money. Put a bullet in his fucking head.
Talking about Alec Baldwin.
No, Alex Jones. Alex Jones, not Alec Baldwin, but him too.
I got lost along the way.
Yeah, so Alec Baldwin too. Let's just throw that under there. But see, with Alex Jones, I don't agree with everything he says. I do think he does have issues. He knows he has issues. He's working on it, and he has walked back his statements. He's admitted all of his wrongs. He admitted that, look, it was a bad take. I shouldn't have said that. But he also never
give me
called
that Alex Jones rundown so that I know what y'all are talking about.
So Alex Jones is a commentator, political commentator. He ran InfoWars. Technically, I guess still does InfoWars, but it's under a different name now. He was banned from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and everything else like that. I think even before the Sandy Hook shooting. So the issue around all of this lawsuit is that he claimed that the Sandy Hook thing was false flags. It didn't actually happen. And this kind of stuff. And then he also claimed he was talking about the kids that were profiting off of the deaths of their classmates, like David Hogg and people like that, which I also think he's a piece of crap because it's exactly what he's done. He's made a career off of profiting off of his dead classmates. But the problem is that he did talk a lot of shit. And then, of course, in talking a lot of shit, people started harassing the family, saying, oh, y'all are fake, your kids aren't dead, this kind of stuff like that. But the thing is, he never called people to go do that. He just voiced an opinion, and then stupid people followed that dumb opinion. And he's come back after the fact. He realized he was wrong. He walked back all of his shit. He's fucking bent over backwards to try to take that back because he realized how fucked up it was and how wrong he was. And that was on the early lawsuit involved. The last 2 times in court, either between Texas and I think in DC, I don't remember, they've been trying to hold him basically to the fire. That's why they're charging him hundreds of millions of dollars to basically take away his ability to speak ever again.
When listeners listen to this, then my conversation was, I thought we were still talking about Alec Baldwin. I didn't know we were talking about this dude.
Yeah, no, Alex Jones.
It's not okay. So let's take that back a notch because they're not trying to take away his ability to speak. They are punishing him for what he has said.
But he did not profit on it.
In any liable case, this would be considered liable. He is liable for what he has said.
Okay.
Which has
and he already paid that out.
Victims.
And he already paid for his liability.
Wonderful.
So why do they need to destroy him? Because they don't like his opinions?
Are they trying to destroy him, or are they trying to say...
did you not hear what the lawyer said?
Has consequences.
No. Did you not hear what his lawyer said? Or the family's lawyer said?
No,
they literally said... Make sure he has no ability to ever speak on the internet again. Take away everything he has, all of his assets. Never allow him to ever do anything again.
See, that part is basically Yes, that is
Yeah,
that does
this is how
infringe
they're treating
on
it. And
human rights.
don't get
Yes.
me wrong, I don't give a fuck what your opinion of his opinion is. I really don't. Whether it's you, whether it's a stranger on the seat, or whether it's a fucking president themselves, I don't give a fuck. He voiced his opinion, and it was a shitty one. And other dumb people took their dumb opinions and did something stupid. Now, when the first
Two
person
wrongs
comes,
not making a right is what
and
you're
then
saying.
and then you can't just keep going on the bad opinion and destroy other people chain, especially when he comes out and apologizes profusely over and over and over and pays out millions upon millions of dollars before this even came about. And you can say he profited on it. It's like, why? Because it was his show and people watched it? Okay. Then CNN has profited billions of dollars off of all kinds of other shit that they've gotten wrong over time. So it's like, where does it start? And why is it only one group of people, seemingly, that only get attacked in one direction? It's like, when do we start holding all of these other people responsible? It's like the Kanye lawsuit as well that's just coming out of nowhere with the George Floyd thing. I'm sorry, Ye. I forgot. He's rebranded himself as Ye. It's the same
I will
thing.
never call him that.
Yeah, I know. It's the same situation. He voiced an opinion based off of something he read, and the family tried to sue him for $250 million. And then they realized, oh, wait, we can't actually sue him for that because it doesn't apply. So they're just putting up a cease and desist. You know? It's like, stop, you can't say anything about George Floyd ever again. And that was after Kanye's basically already paid for George Floyd's daughter's college. So at what point do we just take anyone with a bad opinion and destroy their lives and make sure they can never do anything again?
All of this falls under the category we talked about like way back in like episode 6 or 7 or somewhere in there, way back in there. All of everything that we're talking about today is at fault because of instant access of the internet and people's instant ability to run their fucking mouths. This dude in the 70s and 80s and even much into the 90s, before we had a lot of worldwide internet access, would have had to have researched, talked about it a lot, ran it by somebody, done a whole bunch of shit before he ever got to say anything. So most of what he said probably would have never made air anywhere. But now, because he can read that, I can hear you say that about him. And right now, while talking to you, I can mute you guys and go on fucking Twitch and Twitter and all that other bullshit and record a video of me supporting him or destroying him instantaneously based just on what you guys said. And all I have to do is type those little hot button words in there with all the little different hashtags, and I'll get a fuck ton of fucking views and I'll get money off of it. And I really don't care about it anyway, one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with some of what you're saying.
But
I
there
agree
are
with some of
people
what
that do.
Dormammu's saying. And that's what I'm saying. It's the instant access of the internet. The ability to bitch and argue and talk shit immediately doesn't give time for people to think about stuff logically before they say it.
Yeah.
One thing that my mom always told me growing up is, and it's a hard pill to swallow, but things said in anger are not meant. They're an instant thing. You're defending yourself. You feel like Shoki says something to me and I feel like he hurt my feelings or he's attacking me, and I'm immediately, yeah, well, fuck you and fuck you for this, and this. And I list a whole bunch of shit off, and it hurts Shoki's feelings. Like it hits him hard. He shouldn't react back. Like, oh yeah, you said that. Well, here's this, and this, and this. I still have to apologize for what I said, but he shouldn't take it as that's what Rikki really thinks, because Rikki's saying it in anger more than Rikki's just stating stuff to me. And I think the internet takes away people's capabilities to do that. You think before you say something. So instead, they're just saying it in anger. Everybody else is hearing it. They're immediately angry. They're posting about it and talking about it. And then everybody just treats it like it's written in fucking stone on the side of a fucking mountain. It's a lot of hot-headed shit said and a lot of hot-headed reactions to them on both sides.
Yeah. I
think the internet really fucks the world up a lot more than people think.
Oh, it's the cause of and not even the solution to all of our problems. But no, you say that it's not written in stone. It's like, no, the problem is that the internet is forever. Like, it's better than carving shit in stone because you can break that stone and grind it down. Once something's
This will
out there,
always be there.
once something's on the internet, it will be there forever, whether you want it to or not. And you can do your best sweep of everything, and it won't matter because people will save that shit. They'll clip it, they'll screenshot it, whatever. It doesn't even matter, you know. And you know, just one final thing, at least I want to say about the Alex Jones thing. The most fucked up part about it, if you're following the case at all, is that one, the reason they found him in default, or they had a default guilty judgment on him, is because they claimed that they didn't, him and his lawyer did not hand over all of the evidence that was demanded, but they did. Like before it all really got rolling, they handed over any and all paperwork, any and all videos, any and all information they had, and then some. They cooperated 100% along the way. And then the other lawyer just said they didn't give us enough. And then the court found him default. I was like, so you get to determine how much information we give you. And if we give you literally all of the information we have and you say it's not good enough, we no longer have the ability to defend our client. That's fucked up. Like, that's really fucked up. And this shit could happen to any of us. So if anybody here, you know, wants to be happy to find out that, you know, something terrible is happening to Alex Jones because you don't agree with him or you have a bad opinion, just remember, this could be you one day because you said something dumb on the internet and it offended the wrong person.
It is true.
So, and it could happen to anybody. Like, it really could. You know, that's a fun, like, you know, you got to watch what you say when it comes down to things. Especially, you know, and like I said, I don't agree with what he said. I don't agree with what he did. It was stupid. But he was calling into question a lot of stuff that he saw wrong, and then he realized he had bad info, and he came out and he corrected himself and he apologized, and it wasn't good enough at that point. You know, everybody should have the ability to fix their fuck ups. Everyone should have the ability to fix their fuck ups. You know, whether that's blatant apologies or however many millions of dollars in certain cases, because, you know, it's going to come down to that. You know, you don't have to forgive them, but you have to acknowledge that they've tried. You know, he didn't pull the trigger that killed those children and the teachers.
Right.
But they're treating him worse than the person who did. That's the fucked up part. It's like the person who actually killed those people has literally had their day in court. Alex Jones, on the other hand, was just railroaded and treated like the devil. And that's where it's fucked, in my opinion. Whether I agree with his opinion or his thoughts or anything he says, doesn't matter. It's the treatment of the person. Because would you want that for your wife, your husband, your brother, you know, your dad? How far do you get to how far do you have to let your person, your most important person in your life get destroyed? You know? So just think about that.
My opinion is be responsible for your mistakes.
And when you are, you should be allowed for that responsibility to be acknowledged. Not other people deny that you didn't take responsibility. So like we're talking about Alec Baldwin, okay. Most people want his ass in jail for killing somebody, right? That's a legit question.
Yeah. I thought it was hypothetical.
No, that's not hypothetical. I'm saying most people probably agree Alec Baldwin killed someone. He should be in jail. The people who were also responsible for the fact there was a real bullet in there should also be in jail. Okay. So we're just going to be fine with him paying however many millions of dollars to the family and letting the husband work on the movie now. That's it?
Well, that's what the family chose.
I know, but I'm saying
he offered them all the money in the world, and they could have said no if that's what they wanted to do. No, we want to see you in jail. So who am I to override the family? If the family is okay with that being the resolution, then everybody else can fuck off because their opinion on it doesn't matter.
Okay, but if Alec Baldwin admitted fault, or at least didn't because they settled, what if somebody else says, nope, never mind, that's not good enough. We need to push this further.
I think if you settle, you still have to admit fault.
Okay.
Because
maybe not publicly.
You're admitting you did something by giving them anything.
It's a plea of what is
There's
that?
no point in wasting the court's time because there's an answer.
There's a specific plea for that where it's like it's both you're at fault but you're not. You know, it's a neutral responsibility. But it's like, okay, but what if they come back and say, no, wait, that's not good enough? Like next week they said, never mind, that's not good enough, and now we're pushing it further.
Well, if they've already agreed to it and signed it, then it's double jeopardy and they can't do anything about it.
That should be true, yes. But you know, it's just
that's why I was saying you have this lawsuit of attempted or accidental homicide is one thing.
Yeah, accidental death. Yeah.
If they wanted to try it again, they would have to try it as an like with the OJ thing where they got him for the what is that? The for killing their family member. What do they call that? A wrongful death.
Yeah, this was the wrongful death suit. Is what
that's what I'm saying. There's nothing after that. If they agree to that plea bargain, that's it. It's done. But if they did the accidental death thing, you know, the for the job, like the main thing, like him getting charged as a homicide.
Yeah.
Then if that didn't go through the way they wanted, or they didn't get the resolution they wanted, they could
try it differently.
Suit them again.
They have to try it differently.
Yeah, they could try it again.
Well, because it was settled. Well, I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
Because it's settled. They can't. There's nothing left now. What is it now? Okay, we settled on the wrongful death, so now we're going to sue you for staining her clothes. I mean, what are you going to do at this point?
Negligence.
There's nothing below that.
The negligence.
No, negligence wouldn't hold water to a wrongful death suit.
Well, if they're not holding it for the death, but the accident itself. Maybe.
It depends. That's what I'm saying. It depends on what the plea was for. If it was for the accident,
either way, the point
was for wrongful death. It's two different things.
So my point was, what Rob said is like someone should be responsible for their actions. Like, okay, but at what level is once they've taken their responsibility, is it acceptable or not acceptable? Who gets to determine?
And my thing was they should take responsibility.
That's where a court of law comes in. We are not lawyers. Let's just preface that.
Yeah.
Nor are we.
We are very much law-paying taxpayers, so we could have ended up on the jury that would decide that.
Our opinion is minutia compared to.
Not if you're one of the 12 sitting on the jury that have the same information that we have.
That is true. But again, this is where
I don't even think it's a jury. Is it not even a jury trial? It's a judge.
Well, it wouldn't have if they did. If
straight
they did,
judge.
If they were doing a plea agreement, there
was no trial.
Went to trial.
There was no trial. This is just a. They call it a trial, but it wasn't one. Yeah.
That's what the plea does. Is it negates having to waste the state's time and taxpayer money running the courts.
Yeah. So we're still talking about two different things. So we're talking about Alex Jones, not Alec.
Yeah.
Again,
I agree that somebody is responsible for it. Talking specifically about the Baldwin one.
Yeah.
My thing is, I think it should be equal across all parties. I don't think one should pay more just because you got more in your account.
Okay, and
more in your account doesn't change how you shot that gun.
And we agree on that
account. Yeah, somebody with $5 in the account could have used that same gun and pulled the trigger that many times and accidentally shot her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But then they still would have gone after Alec Baldwin because he had the deep pockets, which is dumb to me.
Yeah, but as we discussed before, is like sometimes it's not about the pockets; it's about the level of responsibility in the mishap. So
and like I said, then the level of responsibility is starts with the armorer.
Okay,
the person who put the live bullet.
But rather than continually to retread this, we'll just move on. It's like we're gonna go in circles again. We don't need to do that. But either way,
it wasn't circles. That was a good conversation. I went back and listened to it. I like that one.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Now we don't need to go in circles.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.